Welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast, where two lifelong horror fans talk all things horror. Pour yourself your favorite drink and hang out. Here are your hosts, Josh and Jake.
Hey guys, welcome to the J Squared Horror Podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jake.
Sorry about hitting the wrong button. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing
2014's Tusk, directed by Kevin Smith.
This is an interesting addition to the J Squared Horror Podcast. But before we get into this episode, what would we like to let anyone new to our podcast know, bud?
As always, like and subscribe on YouTube.
Please, please, please.
You can also find us on Spotify.
We're on there.
On Apple.
Yep.
As well as Google.
Mm-hmm.
Also on Instagram. J Squared Horror Podcast. Link tree in the bio. New episodes every Thursday.
Every single Thursday, two lifelong horror fans decide to get together and talk all things horror. With this podcast, what we'd like to do is open up a line of communication between all types of horror fans. This is, in our humble opinions, the most original horror podcast ever in existence. And the only way to find out what we mean is to listen in to the entire episode. So buckle in and enjoy our fun content on all things horror. And this week we'll be talking about Tusk. So, Tusk it's...
Well, before we start,
What?
you just want to remind them of?
Oh, the Linktree stuff?
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
I mean, if you want to.
I guess I can. So in our Linktree that Jake had already mentioned, we also have two things that we'd like to mention on every episode when I don't forget. One of those things being paranormalitymagazine.com. Paranormality Magazine is a magazine that talks about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. If you use code J2Horror at checkout, you will receive 10% off of your purchase. That is on merchandise or magazine subscriptions or single magazine purchases. What you can also do on paranormalitymagazine.com is vote for us to be the #1 paranormal podcast on their page. I know we're not like the biggest paranormal podcast, but we're horror and we would like to be #1.
Yeah.
So go on the website, vote for us, and we could be higher than number 8 because that's the highest we've gotten so far. We are no longer paying to be in these issues, so the only way we continue to pop up is if you fans vote for us on paranormalitymagazine.com. Also, in our link tree, you can go to www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. That is our website where you guys can talk to us directly. You can let us know how great our episodes are, if there's an episode idea you have, if you're a director, if you're a producer, if you're an author, if you're anything in the horror realm, or you're just a really big horror fan and you think a really cool podcast episode idea, hit us up on there. You can also find every new episode. You can share that link to friends if they don't have the ability to go on Instagram or to look us up. I mean, we are the first thing that pops up when you look up J Squared Horror Podcast now, which is super cool.
It is.
But the website is a super cool place to be. We also put fun little snippets on there when we find them and things like that. So check those two things out on our link tree in our Instagram bio. Now, Tusk. That is a lot of people are like like they say this movie is like so disgusting and like so brutal. Do you feel like it's that disgustingly brutal of a horror film?
No. I don't.
I have this strong, sneaking suspicion that this is all we're going to get out of Jake tonight. Just monitor. No.
No. So, like I told you before, I watched this movie twice.
Yeah.
I watched it last night.
Okay.
I retained none of it.
Damn.
I was like, this morning I thought, did I watch Tusk last night? So I watched it again today.
How much did you
Drink last night?
enjoy after work?
0.
Oof.
I just didn't remember any of it.
Damn.
So I watched it again this morning.
Okay. Retained a little bit more.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We will see.
I haven't seen this movie in like 3 weeks, so we shall see how this episode is going to go, ladies and gentlemen. I had to do a training at work last night, and I was a little tired. The cool thing, all right, so the one thing, there's a couple of things that I did want to mention about this movie in particular. One of those things being is that Justin Long,
Yeah.
he's a very big scream queen these days. He's an up and coming scream queener.
Scream creamer? Is that what you said?
That is what I said. A scream
Yikes.
queener.
Okay. I heard. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. What you said.
You said creamer. Right?
I said scream queen
Okay.
creamer. Yeah.
What he does in his free time. That's
What he
nothing to
does
do
in
with
his
podcast.
he is an up and coming scream queen. He has been in a lot of horror films. And me and Jake kind of jokingly talked about this before because Jake was like, "Yeah, dude, I love Justin Long." And I was like, "Why? Like, what horror movie did you enjoy him in? Was it Jeepers Creepers? No. He's a horrible brother in that. Was it Barbarian? No, he's a piece of shit. Is it this? No, he's also equally a piece of shit. Is it, what else was he in?
Accepted.
Accepted is a great movie that he's in. Unfortunately, it's not in the horror realm. Yeah. So the only thing that we can think of that we enjoy of Justin Long's is outside of the horror umbrella.
Yeah.
But the one thing about this movie is he's a podcaster, and being podcasters, if you guys didn't know this, we are. It was cool because, like, when I originally watched this movie years and years and years ago, I wasn't thinking about it from a podcasting mentality.
Yeah.
I was just watching this movie because people said it was, like, intensely disgusting. I would say that a lot of people compare this movie to, like, Human Centipede level, but I don't even think it compares or competes. Because Human Centipede is actually, like, pretty gross. Whereas, like, this isn't that bad. Maybe it's just because we're super morbid at this point. But it's free on HBO Max, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So if you guys haven't seen it yet, go watch it. So you can kind of get your own taste of what this movie is. And if you guys find it being super vulgar, super foul, super disgusting, comment on any of our social medias or on the YouTube links. Like, let us know what you guys think, because we honestly don't feel like it's that disgusting of a movie. There are
good either.
It's really not. But he is a podcaster that, as we both know, interviews can fall apart.
They can
and leave you up a creek without a paddle, so to speak. And what do you do? What do you do when your episode doesn't work out the way you wanted it to be? So they were going to interview this guy that had this crazy thing happen, but he ended up not being alive anymore. He killed himself. And it's super sad because they were going to end up just joking him anyway. And you already start to see that, like, Justin Long's podcast and, like, who he is, he's just kind of a turd nugget.
Trash.
He's a piece of shit. And if you guys know, when we talked about him in Barbarian, he is diabolically a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So you already are painting this picture for the J Squared guys of we don't like you. Like we don't like you. We're not going to relate. But I did want to ask you, as being a fellow podcaster, so I know you're not really like the set-upper of the podcast. Like you do your role.
Yeah, I kind of show up. Yeah,
you show up, you do your role, you fucking kill it every week. But let's say that we had an interview that fell apart.
Like
would you let me go on this trip to go try to meet somebody else, or
no?
Like what? Well, no, he went on the trip before he realized that he was dead.
Because that's their thing.
They just, like, show up.
Yeah, because they're the name of their podcast is the Not See Podcast. NOTSEE, by the way.
Yeah, please don't get us canceled because of their title.
So he explained it as he goes and sees things and comes back and talks to his friend about it.
Yeah. I mean,
so they never both go.
That is. I mean, that's probably how we would do this. I wouldn't call it that, but
yeah, that is the worst.
That's
name.
a horrible name. But when did you say it was released?
2014.
I mean, that's not like 2005 realm, but it's still pretty pre-cancel culture.
Yeah, I don't think
A little bit.
naming that as your podcast is not a good idea post like 1940 something probably. So.
But then again, you're doing that whole like, oh, people are gonna like look it up because it's like so out there. Maybe.
Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna jump to it real quick. Later in the movie, when she calls the police,
Yeah.
and she's describing him,
Yeah.
and she said there's a recent picture of him. It's on the Nazi podcast, and he hangs up on it
immediately.
Yeah, he's like, spell it. You gotta spell it, guys.
You got to spell Notsee,
Yeah.
not in however you spell the other.
AZI.
Oh, there you go. So I wouldn't. I think that I would be guilty of trying to get content of any situation that I could.
You wouldn't go to that extreme.
I mean, I wouldn't have called it the Nazi podcast.
You wouldn't go to Canada for it, would you? On your own?
No, if like, let's just say that John Carpenter was in Canada and he
Okay.
was like, meet me in Quebec.
Yeah.
And like, let's do our interview. I'd be like, Jake,
Yeah, but
let's go.
yeah, I would come too. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be super double fucked.
I wouldn't say, no, you're good. Go on your own and just come back and tell me about it.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's dial it back. Not John Carpenter. Let's say a person from Hurt,
A director, an actor?
an actor or director from Hurt. I probably wouldn't go, but you asked me to, so I went.
I mentioned it before. Hurt is our 4th highest viewed episode. So
The movie still
yeah.
sucks.
Let's
But
start with
it's
the
just
hurt,
fun to
with the
always
hurt
bring up.
hate.
The hurt hate always happens. But anyways, I digress.
I thought we should both go either way.
All right. Well, I think we would both go anyway. So it's kind of hard to compare. But
Yeah.
all right.
Well, it's the concept of their podcast.
The concept of their podcast is a little bit different than ours. But let's just say I had to go. Yeah. I don't know if we can compare ourselves to the Nazi podcast.
Under no circumstance. would
Like
I
there
just-
is no, other than the fact that they're two friends that do a podcast together, that's about it.
Yeah, that's
Because I don't treat you poorly.
the basis of it. They're two friends that do a podcast.
I don't treat you poorly.
No.
I don't like try to overdo because it's my podcast or it's my thing or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I guess we couldn't compare this situation that Justin Long gets himself in.
Yeah, he's just wants the fame and
He goes to some shitty bar in Canada and finds a random advertisement on in a bathroom and decides that's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, he has terrible decision making. You see his mustache. It's not-
Yeah,
it's not
I
good.
mean he's not looking his best.
It's not good.
He's definitely not. I mean, maybe people look at us and they're like, these two fucking goobers with beards, but I don't know. That mustache is pretty.
Okay, I'll rock just a mustache then.
Oof. I told you
Yeah,
what
if
would
you-
happen if you
Yeah,
shaved
if you
your
don't
beard.
like this, you'll hate just a mustache.
I told you what would happen if you shaved your beard.
I've seen my face.
I've
without
seen
facial
my
hair
face
on
without
it.
facial hair without
I'm
it.
good.
It's not happening
Yeah, I'm
while I have a podcast or while I'm alive.
Well, I have
Unless
to-
I lose a significant amount of weight,
yeah.
not happening.
If you lost like 40 pounds,
If I lost like 40, 50 pounds, I would probably just rock a stash just to throw people off. Because you'd be like, what? He has a jawline? I'm like, yeah, damn right I do.
so for a while, I rocked like just like a chin strap,
Like goatee or chin strap?
just like the full chin strap.
Oh, like the close cut chin
Yeah.
strap? Ew.
And then I had like people said an Amish thing going for a little bit. I thought they were both good looks.
Amish?
Yeah.
I don't know if the Amish look would be good for you, bud.
I thought it looked good. No one else agreed.
Yeah,
So I stopped doing it.
That's usually the case. I've let my beard go pretty wild a couple of times.
I have too.
It's just when my barber can't get to me. You can trim your own beard, though. I can't.
Yeah, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. I'm not going to do it. Like, even like now, letting it grow back in.
Yeah.
I'm going to grow it like up to as high as it can go.
High as it can go?
Yeah.
Like on the cheek?
Yeah. And then as long as it can go too. I'm just going to grow
So you're going to go Amish again?
Not Amish, more like James Harden almost.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. James Harden beard.
Just cover all of my face up.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Just edge it slightly.
Yeah, well,
All right.
don't look too homeless.
And you got to trim. I don't know. Your mustache might be different than mine because we're obviously different ethnicities.
Yeah.
But like my shit like starts curling in my lip.
Mine does too.
Oh, okay. That's gross. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Like,
You get like food caught in.
yeah,
shit.
dude, you
Yeah.
got like fucking ice cream just hanging out on there. You have no clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, Justin Long looks weird in this movie. That's why we talked about our beards.
Yeah, and mustaches.
And mustaches. So he finds a random sign on a bathroom and decides to call this person. They're like, "Yeah, you can interview me." I don't feel like 2014 was an excusable year to do this.
To find just a number in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and call it.
I feel like the technology's still on our side to where we realize that that's not okay to do.
I would agree.
Like, and I don't care. Like, maybe because we're just gifted in podcasting.
People still doing like Craigslist and stuff. That's kind of the same
But
thing.
is it the same thing though?
Yeah, I feel like it is.
Craigslist ad and ad in the bathroom are two significantly different.
I mean, they're both from complete
They're both
strangers.
uncomfortable.
Strangers you don't know, and a number you're just calling based on an ad.
Doesn't matter. But to meet for a oven and to meet to interview are two completely different things.
Or maybe for like a date or something.
You don't go to Craigslist for dates.
People used to meet up and like date on Craigslist.
No, there's like the
There was like Backpage.
Backpage.
That was like
but
for fucking. But
that's for literally what you said.
they had, meetups and stuff. From what I've heard.
No, there's like the what is it like people you missed, or like you would be like, oh, I saw this girl in Food Lion that farted on aisle 6 and I'm in love with her.
Misconnections.
Misconnections.
Not that I would
fun
know
to read.
from,
Yeah,
not
I think
like
he
that.
might have put in a
I'm
couple
not
because he knew immediately what that shit
I
was.
mean, I
called.
wasn't an avid Craigslist user back in the day or anything.
It was fun to read when we were
sounds like
younger.
it was, but I was not.
It was fun to read when we were younger, though.
Yeah.
Misconnections in particular. But you said it first, so I feel like you put in a couple.
No. I would never do that.
Maybe you missed the love of your life, bud.
I highly doubt it. And if I did, I would not find her on Craigslist.
Valid point. You're
And-
worth way more than Craigslist back pages.
And to be clear, or Backpage.
Yeah. You're worth way more than missed opportunities and back pages of Craigslist. Yeah. So he then decides this is the move. So I'm just not going to do an episode that week. But maybe it's because he's making hand over fist on money, and he doesn't want to be. We kind of just do this.
Yeah, he said he made $100,000 a year on just ads alone.
Yeah, we aren't.
I'd be pumping out episodes.
Yeah, we aren't anywhere near that.
No.
I wouldn't even. We're not even a fraction of that.
No, even though on YouTube, when I punch in like our name, it has like an ad for like something else horror related. I've noticed that now.
What?
Yeah, it's not what our episode or anything, but when you go on YouTube, put our name in, to the left is like an ad for some type of horror, like something.
What the shit?
Yeah.
And we're not making diddly squat off
Well,
of that.
people aren't watching our episode and seeing it. They're just like looking us up and seeing it off to the side. Completely.
I still feel like we should get like 0.001% of that.
Because you looked it up and
You
saw
looked
that.
us up and you saw an ad.
Yeah,
Damn. YouTube's getting us, man.
they are.
We're not monetized.
One day.
48 years from now.
Still one day.
So Justin Long goes to a gas station, gets a soda pop. Then asks for directions to this place. That's a couple hours away, correct?
2 hours away, yeah.
2 hours away. And he goes. When he gets there, it's definitely an isolated.
Either one.
Either one kind of works, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a normal feeling place, right? And then the guy's old and in a wheelchair. So you're going to kind of put your guard down, I feel like.
Yeah, you think if worse comes to
Worst comes to worst.
I got to run.
Yeah.
You can't catch
He
me.
can't. I got to go up a flight of stairs.
Yeah. One step.
Or down a flight of stairs.
Either one.
Whichever. You got to get the height or dis-height advantage. And they start like hanging out, talking. He has to go potty because, he took a drive with a big soda. And then he offers him some tea, I think, or coffee or something.
But you'd never take the tea at a stranger's house.
You shouldn't.
From a different country.
Yeah. And they talk. They're getting along very well. This is a big house, too. This isn't like a small, like this is it's almost like a kingdom, it seems like.
Yeah.
Like it's big. It's like a castle. And the guy's got a bunch of cool stories. And so obviously Justin Long's character is like, I want to hear all about these war stories and all this crazy stuff. And he's sitting there and they're talking. He's showing him some cool stuff, and you should kind of put some. I don't even think I would put red flags up at this point. The guy seems trustworthy and honest.
How?
I don't know. He's just a guy in a wheelchair offering you some tea, telling you some cool stories, and you ask to hear cool stories.
Yeah, so the second they start talking, he starts to feel tired.
Immediately tired, but he did go. He did fly to Canada and then drive. Like, I get it. Remember Texas? Come on, man.
Yeah, but we weren't
Took a nap.
so tired. We were like...
We weren't so tired what?
We're like
We
losing
literally
our
took a nap.
Yeah, but that's different, though.
Is it?
We took it. We weren't forced to sleep.
I don't take naps.
I don't either, really.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't sleep at all, really.
You don't. So we both napped as grown-ass men on our little tiny couches.
Interesting.
Not together. 2 different couches.
Well, pretty much together. But
Yeah, it was like his head was at my feet. And
Yeah.
I was laying on this couch.
Yeah.
But anyway, it makes sense, though. Like, nothing would make me have a red flag at this point.
I am suspicious of everyone.
Not me. He barely knew me in Texas.
But you're still concerned.
You definitely didn't know me when I was driving your ass to Kentucky.
True. But I can't help. I always fall asleep in the car. I can be with a serial killer. I'll probably still fall asleep.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you could have been very much Justin Long.
I could have.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been. I was awake the whole time driving. I was in control of the
I
situation.
hope you were awake.
Yeah, I was driving. I was good. Anybody knows me, I'm a good driver.
You are a good driver.
I'm a good driver. So he starts getting sleepy. This shit doesn't really matter, but he falls down a couple of times.
It really doesn't matter at this point. I mean, the part everyone wants to get to is him being a fucking walrus.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of lead up to it.
He does talk a little bit about him in this walrus, which, if you guys remember the title of the movie that we just mentioned, 10,
Yes,
20 minutes ago?
2014's Tusk.
Yeah, so you kind of come into this movie knowing it's going to be something about some tusks or some walruses.
Walrus.
What's the plural of walrus?
No idea.
Yeah.
I don't use the word walrus very often.
This is honestly the first time I think I've used walrus in a capacity of this nature.
I know it's the most I've said it in my life.
I think this is the most I've said walrus.
Yeah, me too.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goodness. So you got walrus talk. This old guy is like obsessed with this walrus. And you find out he can walk, he can do like normal people shit, and he's wanting to capture Justin Long to turn him into a walrus.
Yeah, so he cuts his leg off.
Whoa, hold on. Jesus.
Wait, he did that prior to him walking.
Oh, he wakes up legless.
Which is that 10-minute conversation they have is the best part of the movie.
When he wakes up legless,
yeah,
it's the creepiest, eeriest part of this movie.
It says,
because you don't know what's going on.
My leg is gone. It's not there. Yeah, dude, it's gone.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
I think he explains it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, he got bit by a spider.
And the doctor comes.
Yeah.
That's right. But also you find out throughout this whole process that Justin Long's character's podcast homie and his girlfriend are bumping uglies.
They're a thing.
They're a thing.
Right behind his back.
But you also find out that Justin Long's character is also a piece of shit.
Yeah.
More so than you already thought, because he's cheated multiple times.
Yeah.
And also the podcast homie is no other than
Haley Joel Osment. That's his name?
from
The Sixth Sense?
he's the Sixth Sense kid.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, we'll get there. Never mind.
What?
I just had a fun fact about another famous actor.
Oh, he
in
comes
this
in later?
movie. Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the cop?
The detective that helps him out.
Yeah, who is that?
Johnny Depp.
That is Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Ah, shit, that's right. Johnny
So,
Depp is in this movie.
Originally, the role was offered to Quentin Tarantino, but he thought he'd be playing Justin Long's character. When he found out he was not,
He was like, nah.
like, I'm good. So he's brought Johnny Depp in.
Johnny Depp was like, yeah, I ain't got nothing
Yeah, I'll
going
do
on.
it. Yeah.
I love Johnny Depp. He's way better than Justin Long.
I agree. Makes better movies, too.
Way better movies.
Got Pirates of the
Nightmare on Elm
Caribbean.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Sleepy Hollow.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
You got people hated Mordecai. I thought it was
Nightmare on
pretty
Elm
good.
Street. You just say it for me.
But What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Secret Window.
Public Enemy.
That was good.
Secret Window is his best movie of
Yeah.
all time.
You think so?
Can we cover that?
I think so.
It's so good.
It is good.
Secret Windows,
Oh, and
unbelievably.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
He's also in 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
The
That's
movie and the TV show.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
A lot of Johnny Depp talk here.
So, there's what's considered unforgivable sins in life.
Unforgivable sins.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the circumstance. Like murder for some people may be unforgivable.
Murder.
If you just murder like a stranger, for no reason, that'd probably be unforgivable to that person's family.
To that person's family, yeah.
I would also say probably sleeping or cheating with your best friend's significant other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be
It's
a huge
probably
sin.
one of the lowest of the lows.
I would agree.
Because, like, murder, I can almost forgive you more for murder.
Okay.
Because you obviously got to a point with that person where it's like, oof, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And also, the unforgivable sin that we speak of will probably lead to murder.
True.
Like 7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just like, Justin Long's character is a piece of shit. We've already established that.
Yeah.
But you, the girlfriend and the best friend, are knowingly having a relations whilst he is missing. Like, it's not like, oh, he's just being him.
Yeah.
Like, it's beyond that. Like,
Yeah.
he hasn't checked in. He hasn't called. And it's like, oh, maybe he is doing what they think he's doing or not. But if not, like, the concern wasn't there and they'd rather do what they did. And it was just kind of despicable. This movie just has no redeeming qualities.
It doesn't. But the good thing is, once they found out, they were immediately trying to find him.
Once he called and was like, I'm being killed, basically.
And turned into a walrus.
And turned into a walrus.
I think.
I need you guys to come help me. Then they went and got the cops involved.
Yeah, so the movie's not very good.
The movie is not, there's no redeem. There's no, I don't give a single flying fuck about a single one of these characters.
Yeah. But it was watchable.
Except Johnny Depp's.
It was watchable from the beginning to me until when he actually turns into a walrus. Anything after that, I do not care about. The process of him
becoming a walrus.
them trying to find him, the process of them meeting Johnny Depp's character, all that meant nothing to me at that point. I was like, okay, we're here now.
He's a walrus.
We waited an hour. He's there. I paused. It was like 40 minutes. Like, damn, of what?
An hour and 46 minutes.
Yeah, 40 minutes of what?
Yeah.
He can't turn human again. He's a walrus.
You can't reverse that.
His limbs are gone. I think Johnny Depp's character said he cuts the limbs off. He sews the arms to the chest, and he takes their tongues out.
Yeah, if you're not a walrus, you're still going to be
Yeah.
kind of messed up.
And he says to him, they're fighting towards the end, when they have to fight to the death, pretty much. So
The walruses?
yeah.
Ugh.
So your options are
That's such a bad part.
you can live, kill me, but you're still gonna be a walrus no matter what.
Yeah, he
Or-
wins no matter what.
I can kill you,
He can come back being a human because
Yeah.
that guy just put on a walrus
and you
suit.
just die a walrus thing.
Yeah. The old guy just wore a walrus suit.
Yeah. How many does he have of those?
I don't know. There were some creepy dead ones.
Yeah, when he gets into the water. Yeah.
That was gross. I would say, like, so the thing that kind of irritated me, and everybody kind of leads up to you being like, oh, this movie's so disgusting. This movie's so intense. This movie's so this. It's not. Like, yeah, he looks kind of weird because he gets turned into a human walrus. But even the process of him becoming, like, there's way better shit that's happened in horror movies from long times ago.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I love Kevin Smith.
Okay.
I do. I respect him as a director. I respect him as a movie writer. It is funny to me that this was just kind of a fun project for him. He doesn't give two flying fucks if you like this movie or not. He sat with some friends, stoned out of his mind, and said, "What if we turn someone into a walrus?" Like, that's how this movie was created.
And-
so I
and
have
you
to
can tell.
respect him for that.
Yeah, I respect him for
I
that.
have to respect him for that because big people signed on for this movie. Justin Long is not a B-list. He's an A-list. Johnny Depp is an A-list.
Johnny Depp
The
is for
old
sure.
guy.
Justin Long.
He's known, at least. You know who the fuck Justin Long
Well,
is.
you know who David Hasselhoff is.
David Hasselhoff is definitely A-list. He is fucking Baywatch, my guy.
No,
He's Baywatch.
he is not an A-list celebrity.
He was also in the SpongeBob movie.
And
You
he-
are A-list as fuck if you're in the SpongeBob
and
movie.
he was in Click.
See?
Which
You
is
get
Which
it.
is a good movie. So Adam
Terrible
Sandler,
movie.
A-list.
Terrible movie.
Click?
Click is awful.
No, it's not.
It's the only redeeming grace is Adam Sandler and Kate Beckinsale.
She is good in that.
She's,
He's good in it too.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Yeah,
I'll give it a B.
I loved it. Yeah, Christopher Walken's in it. He's great in that movie.
He's the Bed Bath and Beyond guy.
Yeah,
Why are we talking about Click?
I don't know.
Probably because Tusk isn't the best. No, but seriously, Kevin Smith, like, did you not, was it at the end of the movie? Something happened. I don't know if I watched like a YouTube video or something about Kevin Smith talking about it. Maybe it's at the end of the movie where they just talk about the fact that this is just like a joke.
The second this movie ended, I cut it off. So
Maybe.
if anything
I
was
don't know
extra,
if anything extra happened
didn't see it.
or not. But it's basically just a joke. The fact that they did this.
You can tell.
Yeah. But the walrus battle.
Yeah. It first of all, it looked terrible.
Dude, could
Like-
you imagine shooting that scene?
Like nothing is happening. You're just banging your head against each other
Could you imagine shooting that scene?
and not laughing through it. No, I cannot.
Like, what if we could get the walrus outfits and then battle?
I would
Would-
not. Ugh.
Would we record it
I'm sure
for
it.
our fans?
I'm sure it feels gross.
Sweaty.
I'm sure it smells terrible.
All right. So they fight. He kills his master.
Yeah.
Then that's when they all show up?
Yeah.
The cops and the boyfriend?
Yeah.
Not the boyfriend. The girlfriend and her boyfriend?
Yeah.
And her other boyfriend is now a walrus?
That is correct.
Correct?
Yeah.
Why? Why would you create a movie of this caliber? Right? Meaning, what I mean by that is you're supposed to feel, technically speaking, bad for somebody or something in this movie. You are. That's usually the point in movies
I don't
like
think
this.
so.
Like monster movies, you're usually supposed to feel bad for somebody or something, right?
Did you feel bad at any point with Justin Long's character?
No, I don't feel bad for a single fucking person in this movie.
Yeah. So
Other than Mordecai,
why?
Johnny Depp.
Why?
I just feel like, he never quite gets the solution he needed. Because he wanted to catch the serial killer. And
Yeah.
The serial killer gets killed by one of his walruses.
Then he also wanted to kill the walrus.
He should have killed the walrus.
Yeah.
So that leads me into this last part,
Okay.
which is she cheated
Uh-huh.
on the alive human version of Justin Long's character with his best friend.
Correct.
A diabolical, fucked up situation.
Correct.
But is still in love with a fucking walrus version of Justin Long? Explain this. Explain this to me.
I mean,
Don't have the affair or the cheating
yeah.
if you want us to believe that that's going to happen at the end of this movie.
True. You can't do
You
that.
can't.
And then he's a walrus and she says she loves him.
She says it.
Yeah.
And all you see is his eyes.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in this world that you love in that capacity? Not like family
Yeah.
members or anything. Have you ever loved somebody that much that you decided to cheat on them with their best fucking friend
Uh-huh.
and then still be like, it's okay, you're a walrus, I love you?
Well, no, because I wouldn't love a walrus like that. I don't think I would. And also,
You shouldn't judge everything by looks,
they're a walrus.
but it's a walrus.
They're no longer that. I don't like seeing a walrus so much.
We have to. It's the whole fucking movie.
They know what it is. It's a walrus. I said it again. Fuck.
You said it again.
I was legit trying to not say it.
And you said it.
I did.
What'd you say?
I'm not going for that. I almost did too. Man, I am so simple sometimes.
Sometimes it's real. If I hit you quick enough, sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, walrus, yeah. That was an example, guys.
That was an example.
But yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's not
There's
much more to this.
This movie is bad. I hope you all watch it.
So
you can lose an hour and 46 minutes of your life.
I had never seen it before. I thought I had. I had seen just clips of it.
I had seen clips of it.
I watched the entire thing. Like, dude, this shit is
I remember starting this movie like when I was younger. And I was like, all I got to the point was like they were talking in the house about like the original walrus pecker or like whatever the fuck that was. And I was like, click.
He's like beating it off in his face pretty much.
Dude, it's so much.
I did laugh at that. I thought it was kind of
I mean, you can watch. I think with the right group of people, you can enjoy this movie because it's like a comedy. But if anybody out there is saying it's like super gross, super diabolical, super like brutal, like you might need to step up your horror content consumption because this is not the top one.
Yikes!
I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I'm not like thinking of anything in particular.
I didn't say you were,
but we've covered way more disgusting stuff, and there has been way more disgusting stuff that has existed. That's all.
You know, yeah, it's your personal taste, I guess. Whatever you feel falls within certain guidelines or certain things you feel are too much, I guess.
If the cheating aspect didn't happen, do you think you could still love the walrus?
No.
Why?
It's a walrus.
I just love that you're still saying the word.
Yeah. Damn. Fuck. No, I would not love
the what?
That. Is it a mammal? What is it?
Marsupial?
I don't know. That water animal.
You can't even say the normal words. Just might as well say the W word.
I'll just say walrus. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Fuck it. We're done. We're done talking about this fucking movie. On a scale from 1 to 10, Jake, what do you rate Tusk? 2014.
On a scale from 1 to 10, Tusk, to me, is a 5. Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
Right
I respect that.
Yeah. What about you?
Coming into this, I was going to rate it a 5.4. So I'm going to stick to my guns here. It's right in the middle. It's not the worst movie I've ever watched. It's not the best movie I've ever watched. It's something that I think in the right group of people in the right connotation you can enjoy. It's not super disgusting. It's not super diabolical. You don't give a fuck about any characters. But the movie was done well. It's not a bad looking movie, so that actually adds some points to it. You can watch it. You don't get like very lost in the sense of like, when the fuck is this movie going to end? You might not like remember it very well, but it doesn't. While you're watching it, you don't like lose interest. It's a good pace. It's not a very long movie.
I think what brings it down to a 5 is
I just think that there's no redeemable characters. It's a big part for me.
I feel like the worst part is coming.
Yeah, it's called Tusk, and Justin Long's character's poster is him with tusks.
So once he gets to
that house and he's talking about the walrus, like you're like,
okay.
If you can't figure out what's gonna happen, maybe horror isn't for you.
Yeah, and they did it like almost an hour left in the movie. Like, damn, well, what else can happen?
Now it's just a matter of everybody finding that he's a walrus.
Yeah.
So it's like that. That's the movie. Is that you have to? I think that part of it. I think part of the darkness of this movie is the fact that his girlfriend and his best friend still had to see him like that, even though they were diabolical pieces of shit.
Okay, who cares?
I'm just saying.
Who cares? Okay, fine. Even if they didn't do that, you're a walrus. We get it. Okay, move on.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, you make these fucking noises, and you're eating the fish, and you're there's a lot going on. Did not care about.
Did they get the house, or is that just like a zoo now? Wasn't it like a zoo now?
Well, they're back a year later.
Yeah, and it's like a zoo.
Was that the same house?
I think so.
Huh.
They transported him?
I mean, he's a walrus. Take him to like the zoo or some shit.
I mean, that's a creepy looking walrus.
Terrifying.
All right. That's it. That's Tusk, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you guys think of Tusk down in the comments.
Down below.
Or on our website, www.jsquaredhorrorpodcast.com. Don't forget to go to paranormalitymagazine.com. Vote for us to be way higher than number 8 on the podcast. Also use J2 Horror at checkout so you can save some money on magazine subscriptions or merchandise. I don't even think we haven't discussed what we're covering next week. Even like till this just came up.
Yeah,
we have no clue what we're covering next week.
No,
you guys are used to that by now if you're fans of the podcast.
if you're not, get used to it.
Yeah, get used to us not knowing what the fuck's coming out of our mouths. But we do appreciate everybody that sticks around, listens to us every week. Like, it means more to you guys, more to us than you guys realize. So big shout outs to our main supporters, Jeff Balance, who does our design work, Lucky Riggs, who does our intro and our outro music, Trademark Printing, who does our printing needs. They did an amazing banner for us for our convention coming up in September. Big shout out to Jake, being the world's greatest co-host ever.
Thank you.
Thank you for covering Tusk with me this week. And just admitting that if I was a walrus, you'd shoot me in between my eyes and I wouldn't have to live as a fucking walrus forever.
In a heartbeat.
So thank you.
The second I walked in and I saw you like that, I'm like, shoot him.
Yeah, fucking kill me, because I do not want to exist as a walrus.
Yeah.
Big shout out to all you fans that listen in. If you guys comment down below, Jake is the prettiest walrus, we'll send you out some merch.
Or if you choose not to, that's fine too.
Or if you comment Jake is the prettiest walrus, he will send you an autographed Divine Special picture. Let's not forget that those are existing. But yeah, no, we seriously love you guys. Tune into the J Squared Horror Podcast every week, every single Thursday. So yeah, this is the J Squared Horror Podcast. My name's Josh.
And I'm Jake.
You guys have a great week, and always remember, it's hip to be squared.